Nowadays, it's not unusual for teams to use their forwards or even centers as their primary initiators and playmakers. There were a few outstanding point forwards back in the day, including Rick Barry, Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, and Chris Webber. LeBron James took the whole point forward concept to another level, and now guys like Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Zion Williamson are thriving in those roles. Nikola Jokic is the best point center we've ever seen. The Orlando Magic have two budding point forwards themselves in Paolo Banchero and Franz Wagner. The Magic also had a great one in the late 2000s in Hedo Turkoglu, who blossomed under then head coach Stan Van Gundy. The 6'10" forward out of Turkey flourished in that point forward role, playing with Dwight Howard, Rashard Lewis, Jameer Nelson, and a collection of quality role players. Few forward-center tandems were ever better running the pick and roll than Hedo and Dwight. The chemistry they had was phenomenal. Hedo, with his blend of size, vision, and high basketball IQ, frequently carved up defensive coverages, and he found Howard so many times with an assortment of passes as Dwight rolled in and then used his own force and explosiveness to finish at the basket. They just always saw eye to eye, and there's no doubt that Dwight became a much better offensive player because of how cerebral Turkoglu was. Also, often they connected on alley-oops, sometimes with Dwight spinning off his defender in the post and catching the lobs from Hedo, or other times finding him with these types of throw-aheads in transition. Turkoglu's length enabled him to see over most of his defenders, and his timely and accurate tosses made it easy for Dwight to use his elevation to rack up dunks off Hedo's over-the-top reads. The most memorable Hedo to Dwight alley-oop was this one on February 9, 2007, when Turkoglu tossed up a lob off the inbounds and Howard dunked it at the buzzer for the win against the San Antonio Spurs. The Magic in that era were a great three-point shooting team, largely because of Turkoglu's ability to locate shooters off kickouts to the perimeter. Orlando was top 2 in the league in threes made in all 5 of the years they were coached by Stan Van Gundy. In 4 of those years, they were number 1. Turk was also excellent finding shooters in transition. He had a knack for recognizing where his teammates would be even before receiving the pass, so when he did get the ball, he knew exactly where to go with it. He just had a great pulse of how to find teammates in their sweet spots. On this play, he shows incredible instincts and awareness of where the open man is, even when his eyes were facing the other direction. While Hedo was never a high-level scorer, he had some finesse and craftiness in his game, combined with his size to score on drives. A little like Franz Wagner, Hedo was good navigating around, stopping and starting, and remaining patient before identifying a seam to attack the basket. Now, he wasn't nearly as slithery or elusive as Franz is, but it was a little bit like a slow-mo, less zigging and zagging version of what Franz does. He had an excellent hesitation move that he used quite often on drives. Also like Franz, Turk was good curling around a screen and then making a quick cut toward the basket. Opponents would run at him a lot to get him off the three-point line because of how good of an outside shooter he was, and he would do a good job moving in after the closeout. On that note, his three-point shooting was very good. He shot at least 40% from beyond the arc in 3 of his 7.5 seasons with the Magic, including in 2007-08 when he knocked down 166 three-pointers, 12th most in the league that season. The most threes he ever made in a game was 7, done twice during that same season. When extra attention was given to Dwight in the post, Orlando shooters benefited being spaced out on the perimeter, and Turkoglu was no exception to that, as he had a high number of threes off these kickouts when opponents double towered in the post. The Magic were very innovative in that time period, as they figured out that when you play inside out, you make the defense have to pick their poison. If you had a good post player, good cutters, and good shooters during that era, you had an incredible advantage over opponents. Sometimes the same would occur with Richard in the post and him spraying out to Turkoglu. Hedo was arguably the most clutch player in Magic history. With 30 seconds or less remaining in the fourth quarter or overtime, he made 12 shots that either tied the game or put Orlando in front. That's regular season and playoffs combined. Among his game winners were this one against Seattle on November 8, 2006. This one against Chicago on December 31st, 2007. Here against Boston on January 27th, 2008. Here against Portland on December 9th, 2008. And the most memorable one, against Philadelphia in Game 4 of Orlando's first-round playoff series on April 26, 2009. What gets forgotten a lot is that Turkoglu made a go-ahead shot on the possession before LeBron James hit the game-winning buzzer beater in Game 2 of the 2009 Eastern Conference Finals. Another unforgettable play by Hedo was his block on Kobe Bryant late in regulation of Game 2 of the 2009 NBA Finals. Turkoglu's most impressive game was probably Game 7 at Boston in the 2009 Eastern Conference Semifinals, when he recorded 25 points and 12 assists to help the Magic advance. His career high in scoring was 39 points, set on March 19, 2008 against Washington, and his career high in assists was 17, which came on January 8, 2011 at Dallas. He had 4 triple-doubles in his career, all with the Magic. In the 2007-08 season, he won the league's Most Improved Player award. Earlier in his career, once with Sacramento and once with Orlando, he received votes for the 6th Man of the Year award. He had 2 separate stints with the Magic, first from 2004 through 2009, and then he was traded back to Orlando in December 2010 and was there until 2013. So that will wrap up this video. If you like this kind of content, please subscribe.